45 seconds.
Son los lentes.
All right, here we go, guys.
Ready?
And 5, 4, I don't know what the number is. Facebook goes live when Facebook wants to go live.
And today we're going to do something different. Thanks for watching again, like every Wednesday. Aaron, yes, Aaron. It's like
It's
the
okay,
Aaron
yeah.
in the morning.
Yeah,
from KMET ABC Radio. Aaron Michael Sanchez. It's right here.
Aaron, yay!
And he's gonna take the spot from Gilberto. Oh, Gilberto's here
No,
too.
I never take a spot.
So who are we missing? Where's Hugo? Well, Hugo was too busy for us, so
Yeah.
he'll be here with us next week. He promised. And today we decided to practice some English. Since it's so popular. That I think it's in the United States, a lot of people speak English.
Yeah,
I
there's
think
a
so.
handful.
So
There's a
we
handful
figure
of them.
that
I thought we're in East LA. We're supposed to
Speak Spanish, it's
no?
true.
Well, yeah. But being in LA,
We're east of East LA.
we want to make sure that everyone understands, because today we have a very special show. So, Gilberto, what are you going to talk about today?
I think we want to start talking about the last events that you've been going.
Okay, I've been to some events. I miss a lot of events too. That's why we needed Hugo. That's why we needed
Don't
Hugo.
let him tell you that. Yeah, but he's got sightings all over.
But we talk about that. And how about you, Aaron? What are you going to tell us about what's happening in the car world?
In the car world, I'm going to tell you about every car that you probably should not get.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure I've got a list somewhere around here that says
And
that.
talking about getting cars
Yeah.
or not getting cars, something that we mentioned this in the show with Aaron this morning. I'm just surprised, and it scares me a little bit when people are buying cars and taking 5, 6, 7 years to pay.
Right.
To me, is a sign that the economy is going crazy, and I see already some of the loans, some of the banks are giving loans to people that really should not have loans, which means to me, watch out, within the next 12 to 24 months, I think the economy is going to have a shakedown, because when people are just buying $90,000 pickup trucks, it just worries me. Do you really need a 7-year loan? So I want to talk about a little bit of that. And also, let's not forget, we had a little bit of rain in LA. And after the rain, make sure if your car was outside, get your quick, spray. There's a lot of waterless wash. They call it waterless washing liquids to clean the car. Yeah, no, you just spray it, and then you take your best rug, which is always the
Are those underwear?
100%.
I was just telling my girlfriend,
and that's the best. This is the best material.
Yeah,
this is the best
I didn't
material
know.
to wipe the car. So remember,
underwear.
Hanes is the best, especially if they're used.
Especially
Please tell me
very
you use
soft cotton.
Tide on this. I don't care if you use Tide Pods.
Yeah,
or
but it works. It really works.
All right.
So
be 100% cotton.
100%.
Oh, okay. Well,
And then let's not forget, Gil brought something.
yeah, it's a Latino thing.
I mean, our artist in residence.
Yeah.
Our artist in residence, Gil brought us something that he's working on that he's gonna tell us all about it later on. But
I recognize this.
This is wonderful. I mean, this is not a. I mean, this is, look how thick it is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been carving these. I don't know
at
how
least
long
an
it took him,
inch.
but it looks like he's been carving wood for quite a long time. So Gilberto is going to tell us all about it and how you can get some of these for Father's Day or for the holidays, or if you want to make a nice gift to someone that is different.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about that.
I'm just sharing and monitoring, seeing what people say to
Okay.
us. Any
Sounds
questions?
good.
Are we taking questions too on this show?
If we can, yes, we have taken a few questions, but please remember the questions we wanted to be car related. We don't
want to know about how many other underwear he has laying around for your use.
No, it's only one. It's a special,
one.
and they have to be.
I don't want to know what makes it
And they
special.
gotta be a 1 year old. They gotta have 6 washes at least to get the texture right. That's the most
good
important.
to know. That's good to know.
So you can't just get a brand new one at Walmart or Kmart. You can't do that. No, you gotta use it. So thank you again for putting up with us. We want to see the reaction now that we're doing this in English. Don't go too far. We're going to take a quick break. And then again, remember, this show, it's all about the automobile, motorcycle, trucks. No paparazzi follow us around. We don't talk about baseball. We don't talk about football.
No.
We don't talk about...
What about the girls?
once in a while, when we get the right character.
Yeah.
And talking about girls, there's a show coming up
Uh-huh.
that I want to make sure that you guys all know about this. I have to tell you, these shows are great. If you like, have you been with us to one of the shows when we go to North Hollywood, the car show? The car show
We've
with
been in a lot
the
of them,
pinup
but,
girls and all that.
Oh, I know
That's
what you're talking
really,
about.
really good.
Yeah.
So don't worry, we just going to be coming up in the next 2 minutes.
We'll be right back. Let me know when you see it.
We're all serious. We're trying to learn the material what we're going to talk about. You know, it's a live show. They don't give us a lot of time to prepare. So,
Yeah, they don't. There's
so
slave
we're-
drivers on this show.
So these are our scripts, you know. But you got it upside down. You know, this is the way you read in English.
Okay. That's right. That's okay.
But anyway, what are we looking at
It's
is
already on? It's already on?
Yeah, we're
I
back.
believe it's on.
We're back.
Oh, I need to put the original
Yeah,
Latino glasses.
that's
otherwise
right,
it doesn't work. So, okay.
For the
I
fans.
can see.
So, you know, more than 50% of the trucks sold, well, more than 50% of all vehicles sold in the United States are pickup trucks. And for the F-150 sells almost 800,000 units a year, which is
Wow.
the highest volume if on all combining, you know, cars, SUVs, no one gets even closer to the Ford F-150. And the second most sold vehicle in America is the Chevy Silverado. Now, third pickup truck will be the Dodge Ram.
Right.
But then, seems like those three brands, especially the Chevy Silverado and the Ford, they're pretty much taking 40% of the market. So what happens to the other brands? You know, and I feel that a lot of people think, well, you know, the pickup truck is something that is very American, you know, and they don't even consider other brands. Is that just my observation, or is that what's happening? What do you think?
I think
Are all, you know, if I tell you the Nissan Titan,
Oh no.
what do you think of that?
I don't even remember.
I didn't even
because
know that
it's
was a
not-
Nissan Titan, actually. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, it's a
No,
V8. It's I mean,
When I think trucks, I honestly, I think Ford, I think Toyota, I think Ram,
okay, there you go.
and Chevy.
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
know Nissan
so you
made-
don't even think about
Actually,
Nissan?
I didn't. No, I think of them as a car company.
Right. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
that's-
I think Ford is being target the right people on the industry of worker.
yes. It
it's
is
not
when you talk about pickup trucks.
Yeah.
For over 30 years, the
Yes.
Ford F-150 has been the #1 in sales, which is very
They
significant.
use the right market because I saw Lincoln pickup.
Yes, yeah.
A lot of luxury. So you don't want to get inside.
Yeah, right.
What kind of a car is that or vehicle?
Although I tell you, even today, when you look at the Ford F-150 or the Ram or the Silverado or even the Toyota
Yeah.
Tundra, the interiors, I mean, they're so luxurious. I mean, I'm surprised that just the quality materials,
But in the commercial, Ricardo, they still target the market.
the worker.
For the worker,
Yeah,
the heavy
the-
duty.
yeah.
They do everything.
It's a very the pickup truck. I think is a very macho thing.
Well, and it's a muscle truck, right? Like I mean, and guys, and even girls that I see that actually really like the trucks. They like to have the power. They like to sit high, not low, as many of the cars that
Right.
are out there, right? And if you're going to get in an accident, I mean, let's face it, I'd rather get
Oh,
one
yeah,
in
yeah,
a big
yeah.
truck. But you know, I look, and it's great for the people that want to move all the time or have friends that need to move because that's the other use.
Yeah.
That's why I always never got a truck. I didn't want people asking me for a ride or you know in the pickup with all their junk. Like I'd be moving everybody. I had friends that had pickup trucks, and that's what they had to
That
do.
happened to me when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I had a pickup truck, and it was like, after a while, I realized, wait a minute, these are not my friends. They're my friends because they need me to move
Exactly.
their stuff around.
Exactly.
Well, here in the United States, you cannot ride on the back of the.
No, it's illegal. Yeah.
Yeah, not anymore. Well, I did that before. It was
Unless you got a leash. I think if they put a leash around you
yeah.
and then they tie you, then I think you're okay.
Oh yeah, no, that is actually. Or you put a cabin in the back and they just don't. You know, you lay back anyway.
But let me tell you about
You're not supposed
the one of the Toyota. I would remember on racing, but not for the real people workers in the United States. So you don't put Toyota with.
You don't think so? No, huh?
There is no.
Well, I can tell you that the sales numbers don't lie, and you know, the last couple of years, the Ford F-150 been selling 700,000 units. Chevy Silverado 600,000 units, and the Toyota Tundra, which I think is an excellent truck, sometimes has not passed 100,000.
Ah,
And
okay.
that's a huge difference. I mean, that's a big drop.
Well, I'm just,
but I
say
think
'cause
it's a
in my
very
hand. It's a Toyota Tundra.
but it's
4x4.
I think it's a very good truck. I think it's been, from the point of engineering, I think it's probably one of the best engineered vehicles, and it is 100% American. I mean, the engine is made in the United States, the body,
Toyota
the design,
Tundra?
the Toyota truck. It's the most American truck. I mean, I have a Dodge, and it
Yeah.
says made in Mexico.
It's got a 5-star on
And
side
it's great.
crash, but I mean, my mom would look at this. The rollover's only 3, so just don't roll over in the truck. You're fine.
Yeah, you won't really
Don't take
roll
it
over
roll-
that truck.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So don't go away. Aaron, Michael, Sanchez, Gilberto, Ricardo. We'll be right back. And we are back. This is Ricardo, Gilberto, Aaron, Michael, Sanchez. Remember, we have no paparazzis that follow us around here in
We
LA.
follow ourselves. We actually take selfies like, let's pretend we're not paying attention to the camera there. That's what we do.
Amigos, buenas noches. No se confundan, este es Garage Latino, que estamos hablando en inglés hoy, pero es Garage Latino. Por esta ocasión tenemos un invitado especial, Erin, y es una de las caras de la televisión en la mañana.
Claro,
¿verdad?
claro que sí.
Entonces, está de invitado con nosotros, pero sí no se confundan, las caras son las mismas, Garage Latino.
Y además esto fue a pedido de unos amigos en East LA. Así que si en East LA nos dijeron que hiciéramos la versión en inglés, pues aquí les daremos el gusto. We've been talking about pickup trucks, and why they're so appealing in general, There's a lot of things, I think, from the men's side. It gives you that feeling of maybe a macho guy with a truck,
I don't think
With
so.
a deep voice.
No? You don't think so?
No?
No?
No? For me, it
I see a lot of trucks, with,
Maybe
with,
a Mustang,
with the bull in the
BMW.
I want my
back.
boots, too,
yeah.
to go with it.
I think for women, it's also, it empowers them,
I think so,
being
yeah.
able to drive that big
I've
vehicle.
seen some tough girls,
Yeah.
I mean, they're tough in mind and body,
You
Yep.
probably
behind
feel
that.
safer driving it because
Yeah.
it's a bigger truck, but
Yeah.
macho.
You don't think so?
No. I always connected with construction.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the main thing.
you,
Oh, you choose a
Yeah.
pickup, or you're a construction guy.
yeah. Work, something working.
So that's the
Now,
right
talking about
market.
work, and sometimes it's a little bit of confusion. Sometimes they say, especially when they're trying to sell you the vehicle, it says, well, put it in the name of your business, or if you use it for your business, you can deduct it, and this and that.
Right.
Well, yes and no. First of all, the regulation said that to be a commercial vehicle, it has to be over 6,000 GBW. And what that means is what's the weight of the pickup truck itself.
Okay.
And how much it can carry.
So the Toyota doesn't count.
So most of if you call an F-150 or a Chevy Silverado or the Toyota Tundra, or the Ram 1500, all those trucks fall just below that.
Okay.
Okay.
What if you
So-
put some heavy stuff in the back and weigh it down? Will they
Well, what
does it
happened is
count?
all these vehicles
That's-
have a
count.
federal label on the door,
so it doesn't count.
and that's what they're looking
Can't
at.
fudge it.
No,
No
you
bigger
can't.
tires on that. Yeah, okay.
Now, if you really use it for work every day and your company name is on the door, and you have
It must show on the.
and you have some type of license, like if you're an electrician, you have a contractor license, or a constructor, whatever. If you have that, then yes, you can deduct that.
Good
Okay,
to know.
but you're gonna have to document it. And if you can do that, then obviously it will be not only the cost of the vehicle, but it will be your fuel and your maintenance.
Okay.
So it will make sense. But again,
so a Hummer would
you have
make
to
sense
qualify.
if I have a business, then, is what you're telling
Yes,
me.
and you gotta use for a pickup truck.
Okay.
And then you cannot use it for personal moves.
Yeah, and if you have only just one vehicle, then you will have to have a booklet where you note how many miles you drove this week for business and how many miles
They did for personal.
for personal. Because
I saw one radio personality in Spanish. I will not name who he is, but he has his huge face on his own vehicle. I thought, who would do that on their own vehicle? Now I know why. He was trying to. It's a write-off.
Yes.
He's
Yep,
like,
that's
I'm
right.
just going to work every
That's
day.
right. That's right. Yeah.
That
That could be.
All right, I see how you work.
That could be.
You're gonna see me pretty soon with my own big face on my own little, with my Hummer. Or wait, which one do you recommend then? What truck do you recommend right now? What's the best? What do you say?
To put in an ad or to
Best truck in the
No,
market
just
today.
in
Today.
general,
What would you
in
buy
general.
today?
the Ford, always the Ford.
Always Ford?
Yeah.
Really?
I
right.
don't have experience driving it, but when we're talking about what's the best one in the market,
Yeah.
still Ford.
Okay.
So
All right.
without checking anything, I will go with Ford.
Okay.
Okay.
How about you, Aaron?
With trucks, I mean I've driven the Ram, pretty amazing vehicle there. The Silverado is pretty awesome. I've driven let's see, I think the what was the other one? But did you say the F-150 is like a bestseller?
The F-150, the
And
Ford
then they
is
have
the best
250
seller.
Number
too.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I had my druthers, the Hummer.
The Hammer?
No, I'm just
They
kidding.
they don't make the Hammer anymore.
No, I would probably go with the. I think right now, just because I tried it out, the Silverado was pretty amazing.
Silverado? Okay.
That's
Yeah.
a good truck.
I personally like the Ram, but I have to say that the Toyota Tundra, it's pretty close. And I think, all four main brands, and also, let's not forget the Titan, the Nissan Titan.
Ooh,
They've
yeah.
done an outstanding job.
That's
I mean,
true.
that engine, especially the diesel version, very powerful and has a lot of gadgets inside, a lot of pockets. I have to say that it looks a little bit like the Ford, so when you look at it, if you were to put two next to each other and you're like half a block away and I
Yeah.
tell you which is the Ford, you will have a hard time figuring out
That's
which
right.
is the Ford.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a good way to
I-
test your 2020 vision. or
and I
lack of
think
there.
that's what happens also with the Ram a little bit, and I think they figure, the manufacturers figure, okay, if this is the number one seller, maybe if we make it look a little bit, and we might be offending some people here, but
right.
but
I
I
get what
see
you're
where the
saying.
Ram and the Titan, they sort of
Very
look a
close.
little bit like the
Very-
Ford. But the Tundra, I like the Tundra from the point of view of engineering. It has a lot of very interesting things, and the manual, 600 pages. The manual, that I go like, my God, so many things that are incorporated into this truck. And the 4x4 system, Toyota is famous for the 4x4 system. So
Yeah.
the 4x4 system on the Tundra is the same that has made the Land Cruiser. So it's very, very capable. And I have not been able to drive a Tundra together with a Ford, in certain situations. It's always like, I would like to have that
Side by side.
opportunity.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
Toyota
manufacturers
Ford.
don't,
But
manufacturers don't like that.
If you notice a Tundra versus a F-150, Tundra looks smaller.
Well, this is interesting, and that's been
It's-
my biggest. I have mentioned this to Toyota several times. It's something about proportions.
Yeah.
And American trucks have a long hood,
Right.
okay? And the Tundra always had a shorter hood. And when you have a shorter hood, it makes the truck look smaller.
And narrower.
Even though perhaps the overall
It's bigger.
distances are the same,
Right. Right.
but it just visually looks like, oh, that truck looks smaller. Well, it's not really smaller. It's just visually maybe is 6 or 7 inches shorter in the front.
Yeah.
And
You
also
know?
the front of the grills,
Yep.
always better, well done Ford. Bigger, wider, taller,
Yeah.
muscle truck.
Yeah.
And Tundra is a small grill.
Well, although if you look at the new one, you'll be surprised. I mean, it's a big grill and it's all chrome, and it's really, what I see is made in Texas. Bigger, it's better, more in your face.
More macho.
And
No.
I like it. So anyway, so my comments on the Tundra that I drove, I have to say it, I'm very surprised. And if you're looking for a pickup truck, if you can put your brand preference aside, I will say always try at least 2 or 3 brands. You will be surprised
That makes sense.
because they feel different. When you drive a Ford, it has certain feel. When you drive a Ram, it has a totally different feel. And also you have to think of how you're going to use it, because if you're really going to use it for work,
Exactly. So if you want to try on the actual
Yeah.
work area.
yeah.
Putting the cargo,
Right.
moving people inside.
Yeah.
Otherwise, driving it might look nice.
So you're saying
and
not to a
everything.
test drive, but like go find somebody that actually has one, rent it for like a week.
Feel it with a
and
weight.
Feel what
Yeah, well, because the thing is, this is manufacturers know that a lot of people buy a pickup truck and they really do not use it for work. So what happens?
right.
Then they don't put a strong suspension in the back because you will never put 1,000 pounds.
Right. Yeah, I
So if you're not going to carry 1,000 pounds, then you can make it softer so you have a better ride. That if you're going to carry 1,000 pounds, those springs are going to be pretty tight, And then when you're on the freeway, it's kind of bumping. You feel like, oh, it's bouncing off. The minute you put the weight, it's super smooth, and you carry 1,000 pounds.
Wow.
So if you're not going to use it for work, then maybe you don't want to sacrifice the comfort.
Yeah, that makes sense. So basically, from what I'm hearing, Ford or the new
Tundra, I like it.
Which actually,
the Nissan
for him
Titan.
to say that, even tiny, like give a little bit of a stamp of approval, I already know it's good.
Yeah, and the Titan. I have to say the
'Cause you're
Titan.
very,
I've been very surprised with the Titan.
But still, on the commercials, you don't see it. The power of F-150.
Yeah, it's still way ahead of Ford.
So that's a big thing for the sales go down or high because the commercials.
And we have to see what Hyundai is going to do. They're talking about making a pickup truck.
Are they really?
Yep. So and that. I don't know. I hope they don't. I hope they don't. I hope they don't.
I don't know that I want to be that person trying it out for the first time.
I hope they don't.
I mean, I'll try anything out for once, but I don't know.
Aaron Michael Sanchez, Gilberto, El Artista. Ricardo, we'll be right back.
All right.
Nunca había hablado tanto inglés.
Let me make sure that
we have our own little concert here.
Make sure it follows the
Chonies
same.
in the show.
They're
real chonies, people.
It works.
It works. 100% cotton. 6
I was just joking about
wash
the
cycles.
name, seriously.
It shines.
6 wash cycles. That's the best texture.
Good to know.
100% cotton. So we're back. Aaron Michael Sanchez, Gilberto Garcia, El Artista en Residencia, Ricardo, su servidor. What do you think? I mean, this is what Gil does. I I think it's awesome.
Well, the first time I saw it, I knew it was a Lamborghini. What year is this, though?
He just made this today. So it's
did
a
it.
2018. That's a 2018.
The model of the Lamborghini. Which model?
It's artwork. It's artwork.
I think this is the Diablo.
The Diablo? Okay.
Yeah, it is a Diablo.
So this is my latest work. I've been bringing every week some of the projects I've been doing it, but this is the latest I did. This is MDF wood. It's carving. I did it.
Looks great.
You do it by hand? Is it by hand?
No, actually, this one is not by hand.
It's with a machine that instead
that's what I mean,
instead of hitting it by hand,
right. Not
he gets a
caveman
machine
method.
and does it.
Although that would be impressive too, but
single line.
okay. So how long does a project like this take? Which, by the way, the Lamborghini was one of my favorite cars as a kid. I had that up on my as a poster
in your room.
Yeah. So that's
for me. The Lamborghini is also one of the cars that you dream always.
That and the Ferrari. It's kind of like,
yeah.
And now the Bugatti's kind of there with me. But as a kid, it was Lamborghini.
Yeah.
So I like this model because I'm trying to promote my business, doing this kind of work for offices, in a gallery, or just a nice decoration at your office or room or house.
Yeah.
So something like this, I will work including the painting, is 3 to 4 hours.
Wow.
It doesn't take much, but I like the details, how it cuts, how it looks, and
it's something different than a lot of people. A lot of people would like to have a poster, right? And sometimes they frame a nice poster and you put it on the wall.
That was me.
And I think it's great, but this is kind of 3D.
Well, and there's nothing like handmade,
right?
Done.
You appreciate more.
Exactly.
The artwork.
Right. So this makes it quite different, and it looks great. I'm very surprised because I saw. As he was working, he texted me a couple of pictures. What do you think? And now that I see it with the black background, it came out really
so now I have
nice.
a question. All my friends that want a commissioned piece. Do you do commission work? So if I wanted a Bugatti,
yes,
you do. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, you send me a picture. We need to see how deep, how close are the lines, so we can be well detailed.
Okay.
And then you can do it.
And can you put me in the Bugatti on the thing as well? Or is that
taking soda.
All right. We're gonna make this happen. This is great.
It's possible, but this is the latest. I think it's a good job and a nice piece of art you can have in your office.
Yeah, it makes a difference when it's a solid piece of wood, and and you can see that it's 3D.
Yeah, it's kinda
and
white.
Like I said, it's something very different than having a poster.
The only thing this is missing, I'm an artiste. Where's your signature at? Where's the signature? There's got to be a little.
Well, because
I run out ink.
Okay.
He wants to be anonymous because
No, I know. We need your
uh,
signature in the
because when since he's making thousands of dollars with this,
Oh.
he wants to remain anonymous, and
the Picasso.
so when they see him in his own Lamborghini, they go, "Wait a minute, where the money come from?" So.
Yeah, and normally I used to paint also before with Ricardo, and for some reason I never put my initials. And a lot of people asking me, "Where's your initials?"
Yeah.
And I do a lot of projects. Like in the other table, I have another sample.
Right.
But I don't know.
Or you
If
can
you
like
enjoy
embed
it,
it
it's good
in the like headlights right there, and then
Well,
like,
when I
it's
make
in
a
the
little
headlight.
stamp,
Find it,
but-
and then people will keep searching for it, and they'll never.
Yeah,
But
but
I think it's right here.
But this came out, really, really nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
For
It's
all
gorgeous.
of our friends, Garage Latino, I have a shop in downtown Los Angeles, almost in front of the Coliseum,
Oh wow.
and I put the name Creations Factory.
Creations Factory. There we go.
So
Check
you
it
can,
out.
Creation
Are you
Factories
on Facebook,
in
Twitter,
Los Angeles. Yep.
Instagram, everywhere?
Yeah.
And we can see all the work
Awesome.
from Gil, and again, he does a lot of commission work and does a lot of commercial work too. So check it out, and you can always send us an email to garagelatino@gmail.com if you want some more information and get in contact directly with Gil.
And you can
But
just
thanks
send
for bringing
me the
this,
money.
'cause this is
send
really,
me the
really
money, and I'll promise to forward it to them.
Yes.
Just after I drive my Lamborghini.
Any questions before we go to the next segment? If you have some questions, send them right now. Thanks again for being patient, and thanks for being with us every week. And in the next segment, we can talk about some of the stuff that we saw at some of the shows here in Los Angeles. So don't go too far. We'll be right back.
Wait. One other
Oh,
question.
all right. What
Can
question?
you get that in color in red?
yes,
Yes.
any color.
Any color. There you go. There's the answer. We'll be right back.
Roberto García, our artista en residencia, Ricardo, su servidor. Remember, we know how to pronounce the R's. No nos persiguen ningunos paparazzis, no hablamos de fútbol, no hablamos de básquetbol, pero sí todo lo que tiene que ver con el automovilismo. Y bueno, para todos aquellos que llevan esa gasolina en las venas, ¿verdad? Lo tenemos a Gilberto, y muchas gracias por estar con nosotros. Aaron Michael Sánchez aquí nuevamente.
He is also wearing Castro Racing.
Yeah, Castrol Racing.
Well,
you,
and
you,
know
look
what?
you look very muscle.
Thank
so
you.
You've been doing
It's
exercise.
very, yeah, it's very. I have been working out, but not that much. This shirt really buffs. You know what? Hey, honey, looking good over here. No, but at Long Beach, I just drove by. They were getting ready for the IndyCar racing, right?
Next month.
Yeah, they're starting to prep everything. It
Yeah.
happens in April, but it takes them, 30 days to set up all the streets.
We need an invite. I've never been to the Indy.
Really?
Never.
Okay, so you'll
amazing.
go with us. I've
There we
been
go.
going there for 30 years.
Oh my
nonstop,
God,
so-
that would be awesome. Yeah.
So yeah.
Very cool.
We'll do something very special if you want to go.
I do.
Because
Yes.
our friend, Ricardo Juncos Racing, actually, it's participating not only in the Pro Mazda Series,
that's right,
but
we had him,
which they were champions last year.
Yeah.
They're also the Indy Lights champion from 2017, and now they're also running an IndyCar. So we need to go and cheer for them.
Yes.
And
you need to have them on the show.
and I know there is a Mexican driver in Juncos Racing, so
Yeah,
we
pretty
gotta
cool.
we gotta go there, and Gilberto has to make some noise.
Yes.
Um,
All Easter Lay is gonna be there.
I hope so. Now, we talk up in Aaron's show this morning on ABC Radio, KMET. We talk a little bit about my concern. If you're going to buy a car,
Yeah.
you have to be careful. A car is really not an investment.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that you need to move yourself from A to B to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's transportation. So when you look at a car, you fell in love with the car, and you are willing to take a 7-year loan, you have to be very, very careful, because there are a couple of things that happen. First, when you talk about the economy, in bad times, the loans are very short, and they go to 36 months to 48 months.
Right.
Everybody's very cautious. Hey, I don't want to extend too much money. But as the economy gets better and better and better, then the loans go to 48, then they go to 60 months, and then they keep extending. Now, when we get to extremes like 7-year loans, to me is a sign that the economy is going to have some sort of adjustment in the next 12 to 24 months, which means if that adjustment happens and you have a 7-year loan, pretty much on your 5th year, you're already upside down on your car. That car is worth less than what you're still paying for.
It's still old.
And
Well, it reminds me of these like with the homes, right, where they were just like
Right.
interest only, and they'd get you in there, and then all of a sudden it would be
well, and that's
ballooned up, and all of a sudden you're like, what? I can't.
and then that's why, in Southern California, people are saying, buying $700,000 homes, and when you do the mathematics, there's no way you can pay for this home,
Yeah.
right? But the lenders will give you the money anyway, because they feel, well, at some point they're going to default, and we're going to benefit because we're going to take the home back, but it doesn't really help the consumer.
Now, if you could resell it and it was a good resale, but but a lot of these you're saying don't even have that. In 7 years.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So with the cars, it's the same thing. And, it depends on the vehicle. Some cars really maintain the values, but some of the cars, they really devaluate quite a lot, especially after the 4th or 5th year.
Yeah.
And even though today any car will make it to 200,000 miles without really any problems, the mechanical side of it is really strong, very good. But the values, they fluctuate a lot. And sometimes cars it's a flavor. Right now, I see a lot of new small crossovers, right, that they're coming, like the Hyundai Kona that's coming up in the market, the Ford EcoSport. I mean, there's a lot of nice, small, urban vehicles in the market that now, because they're hot,
Yeah.
the price is pretty high.
Right.
But if the gasoline were to drop, 25 or 30 cents, then all of a sudden everybody starts buying pickup trucks,
I
because
see
the
what you're
gasoline
saying.
really
Right.
doesn't cost much. But when you have a 7-year loan, you really have no idea where the fuel cost is going to be.
Yeah.
And if you buy, let's say you buy a big SUV, which would be an Escalade or a Tahoe, and then 5 years from now, the gasoline goes to $5, right?
Yeah.
Then what are you going to do? Then it would be like, oh my God, I can barely put gas on these, and I still have another 2 years of payments.
Yeah.
So there's a basic rule in our world, which that rule is 20-4-10. And you should always think of putting 20% down if you're going to finance something. Never finance it more than 4 years, and make sure that payment is no more than 10% of what you make every month.
Okay.
So if you stay within those limits, you pretty much will be okay. And still, after the 4 years, the value of that vehicle, it'll still be in the market, so you can still sell it and get something for it, change it, or keep it, and still keep a little bit of money.
Now, I find that a lot of people, though, are like you said earlier, when you fall in love, they hit on the emotion. So the emotion
yes.
overtakes any logic, and they're like, I just must have it.
Well,
and then they bring their payment down, but they don't realize that the interest is where it's getting them, right?
That's right.
The 80%, what you're saying, the emotion, it's the main key to get a car.
Yeah.
Plus the strategies they take on the dealers to keep you 6-7 hours there just to get you.
Wear you
signature.
down.
Yep.
Eat before you go to the dealership.
And now the newest strategy is they're hitting now the younger people.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna help you with the first credit on your life.
Yeah.
Boom, then.
Oh, and the younger people now will take anything as long as like somebody on YouTube is driving it.
Yep.
Boom, they're like, I want that. They don't
Yeah.
care if it's good or bad. They just
Well,
think it's cool.
And I think it's unfortunate because, I hate when people get hurt with these car loans.
Right.
And it's just, there's no need for it, But yes, I think car manufacturers play, into the emotion side, and also the cars now have there's so much technology integration within the car that you can see, like the guy that he likes the iPhone, that he gravitates to a vehicle that is easy to connect with everything that is Mac, right?
Right.
And the guy that is Android, he's looking for a car that he likes all the apps that are in the car that matches his phone.
Yes,
So they're
this
not
is true.
thinking about the engine
No.
anymore. They're not thinking
Reliability.
about horsepower.
No.
And sometimes they don't
Repair
think it's like,
costs.
how long I'm going to have this car? Because
Yeah.
they're thinking, just like my iPhone
Yeah.
or my computer, in a year, 2 years, I'll just change it.
Right.
Well, it's easy to think you change it, but if you have a 7-year loan, you're not going to change it.
Well, even the warranties, it makes you wonder, like, up to, and that's a lot of miles.
Oh, yeah,
by
in 7 years, you can. Well, that's the
depending how you
problem. That's the
drive, like-
problem that in 4 years, easily you can drive 150,000 miles.
Yeah.
And the value drops. When you get to 200,000 miles, no one wants to buy that car anymore.
Right.
So the
Okay,
Unless
value.
you know a way to rewind it, like in Ferris Bueller. I know that works.
But now you can't really do it anymore because it's all computerized, so you can't do
Darn
it. So,
yeah.
so anyway, my friends, 7-year loans, you really have to think about it. You
Yeah.
really, really need to think about it. Thank you very much for staying. Thank you very much for being
thank
with us
you.
today.
Thank
I
you
mean,
for
I really
having me.
appreciate
Yeah,
Thank you for coming.
And
you.
Gil, thanks for bringing the artwork. And again, if you guys want to see some of his artwork, stay next week. He's going to bring something different. But he does an outstanding job. And again, if you're thinking about a present for someone or for the holidays, Father's Day, something that is unique, and is custom, Gil will help you. And every day, don't forget to listen to Aaron Michael Sanchez on Facebook. You do a Facebook look. Well, you put your own plug, and you know all the details better than I do.
ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. You can check out this guy every Wednesday, as well as KVVB TV, channel 33.1, Facebook, Periscope. Follow me at Aaron M. Sanchez on all platforms.
And before we go, Hugo Scaglia, I'm going to eat your empanadas, so don't worry. I can't keep them. I just text you that I'm going to keep them until next week, but I can't keep the empanadas until next week. So we're going to eat them right now.
And send a message to the guy who's bringing the microphone.
Aldo, ¿dónde está el micrófono?
Bring it. They told me about this. I'm gonna check you up. I'm gonna stalk you.
Thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye everyone. All right, that's a wrap. Good job. Okay.